OFPG Voices is brought to you by the following sponsors. Board and Dice. Board and Dice designs and publishes family and strategy board games. Two of their most recent releases, Origins First Builders and Mandala Stones. They recently announced their Ally program, primarily aimed at welcoming and supporting people of color and the LGBTQ+ community in the hobby. Renegade Game Studios, publisher of The Fox in the Forest, Arboretum, and The Search for Planet X. To view their entire catalog, visit renegadegamestudios.com. Hi everybody, I'm Starla.
I'm Mick.
And we are
Our Fan Plays Games. Voices, yeah.
And we are back.
We're back.
With another episode.
Coming back for you.
Yes.
Yeah, another one. I'm going to keep saying that.
You are not DJ Khaled.
I know, but I just like what he said because it's another one. We got another one. With beautiful voices.
Beautiful voices.
Beautiful voices.
That need to be heard.
Yes.
And we're so happy that they're here on our show.
Just a whole variety of different people that deserve to be at the table.
Exactly.
And I just love that. Not only at the table, but behind the table, publishers, designers, everything.
Yes.
But this hobby just needs to be so, just show the variety.
Exactly.
We're doing that. I love that.
And it's always great to show that regardless of race, creed, color, sexual orientation, whatever it is, people love board games.
And we're here.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're here.
We are here in the hobby.
We're here.
and this week we're going to introduce a new voice.
Yes.
And we'll tell you more about that voice in a few minutes. But let's go through the lineup for this week.
Let's go.
So first up, we're going to have Panda Talks with Amanda Panda.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And she's going to talk with Dan and Christina from Going Analog. They have a podcast and a YouTube channel, so can't wait to hear what they have to say.
Yes, and the good thing about it, we were on both of the...
we were
on the podcast, and we did their game show that they have on the YouTube channel.
We did, and they're a lot of fun. So I know you guys are going to love this conversation that they're having.
Yes.
And then after that, we're going to have a How to Play with Aaron from GameEnthus. And he's going to discuss a game he found at Target.
Stay away from Target.
No, you don't. You love Target.
Stay away. You get messed up there.
You get messed up spending your money.
I know.
Exactly.
I know.
But he was at Target. And he's going to tell you this great little funny story about being at Target. And he found this game called Five Alive.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And right after that, we got to get schooled by group with Dr. Tanya Pobuda.
The doctor
is in the house.
Yes, the doctor's in the house.
And she's going to talk about violence in board games. Yes. And then she's going to go on to address a few comments she's received about themes and representation. Very interesting stuff.
Y'all need to listen to that now. Listen to that.
I always love the way the doctor have you think about board games in a different way.
Yes.
From a very academic perspective.
That's why I love she's on this program.
Me too.
I love it.
Me too. And then right after that, we're going to have 2 segments of Talking Games.
Yes.
And we're going to be introducing a new contributor named Reggie from Rollin' Reg.
Yes.
Now, Reggie is a board gamer from the Pacific Northwest.
Yes, he is.
He loves playing all types of games, and he wants to focus on inclusion and accessibility. Reggie loves video games, board games, sports. If it's a game, he loves it.
All right.
And he's also an aspiring designer.
Ooh.
And he has a new game that he's going to be introducing, which is kind of like Rummy reimagined, and it's called Kumquats.
Okay.
So we got to keep an eye out for that when he gets it all done.
Got to keep an eye out.
And so Reggie's going to discuss 5 of his favorite card games, including an honorable mention, and we're going to go ahead and give the secret. He's going to be talking about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
And last but not least, bringing up the rear is going to be Jazz with the Lobby of Hobbies.
Here we go.
And he's going to talk about 5 benefits of having a board game club.
That's cool. That's cool. Like that.
So that's the lineup for today. Stay tuned, buckle up, get you some coffee, and sit back and enjoy what these wonderful voices have to say.
But before we go to them, let's hear from my lovely, lovely wife, Starla, in her Good Human segment. Let's do it.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another segment of Good Humans. This week, I want to focus on caring. Do we really care? And if we do, how do we show it? Caring is defined as displaying kindness and concern for others. How often do we show we care? Do we ever take time out of our busy schedules to talk to someone or visit with a friend, not via text, but on the phone, or actually stopping by to say hello? Do we ever just give of ourselves without expecting something in return? Do we help strangers in need? As humans, giving and receiving care is as important as the air we breathe. People want to know and feel that someone really cares about them. As we go forward, let's think about how we can care for each other. It really doesn't take much. A phone call, a visit, a kind word, a word of encouragement, or even a text can brighten someone's day and show you care. I challenge each of you to commit an act of caring for someone else at least once a month. And if you are so inclined, share your experience with us by leaving a comment. As we always say here at OFPG Voices, our goal is to make this world a better place, one board gamer at a time.
Welcome everybody for another episode of Panda Talks, and today I am talking with Dan and Christina of Going Analog. Hello. So they are the I guess what owners, CEOs, or like hosts. I don't know.
CEO, COO.
Yes.
I want to be CEO.
No,
co-CEOs.
Yeah, co-CEOs of the Going Analog podcast and YouTube channel. So when did you start Going Analog?
Ooh, a while ago actually, because we were just...
Yeah, we did some videos first.
Yeah,
Right.
the original concept was, because I work in the video game industry, it's like, hey, what are good board games to introduce to video gamers that have some kind of
long
tie
time
or
ago.
theme?
That's
and
really
then
cool.
we kind of pivoted to just be more like general coverage, because that was really limiting after a while. And then so now we do a podcast and we do a trivia quiz show where we have industry guests on. Someday we hope to have you on, Amanda. Where we
I'm terrified.
and we
Make
quiz
sure
them.
it's extra hard.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
we do like a speed round and picture round and things like that to test their knowledge of board games.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And we're gonna do a little mini version for you all today. We've prepared a question or two each. And
Christina did it really last second.
What are you talking about?
She forgot.
They're
Wow.
questions.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why are you calling me out?
By the way, but Christina's the one that does most of the quiz show questions, right?
We do about half. Maybe she does
Okay.
a
A little
little
bit
bit
more.
more than half, but yeah, we take turns co-hosting it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. So, well, Christina, do you want to go first?
Okay. Well then, I've got a couple options here. Do you want a like a hot new thing question, or do you guys want a question that's like more traditional board game, classic board game?
Like classic,
Yeah.
like
Oh.
tic-tac-toe.
I don't know.
Classic.
You just pick one.
Oh.
Do you want like hot new thing question or a classic board game?
Maybe. What do you think, Amanda? Because Amanda and I are going to team up for this, right? For your
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
That's right.
Let's do. I think that's like more recent in my mind. Let's do hot new thing.
All right. So
Let's do both.
what? Yeah, if we have time, definitely.
Yeah.
So the hot new thing game for us at Going Analog when we were at Gen Con was Cat in the Box. Okay, this is the deluxe edition of a game that was originally released in Japan. So Cat in the Box. It was originally designed by Muneyuki Yokouchi. Hopefully I pronounced that okay. And what was the original theme of that first trick-taking game? It's a trick-taking card game called Cat in the Box. But do you know what the original theme was of Cat in the Box?
So the deluxe one by Bezier is themed as Schrodinger's cat, right? So what's the original? I saw it at a friend's house. It's a small box.
I have no idea.
We're supposed to collaborate on
Zero
this.
idea.
I saw it, but then I didn't look at the box. I just saw her have it, and then I think it should be cats.
Yeah, because the original I think was still called Cat in the
Yeah.
Box, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe just black cats.
It's cat themed.
Well, that's not incorrect. So
Yes,
it was
we got it.
It was actually the exact same theme. It was a trap question.
Oh, dang!
So I was about to say, maybe it's just the same thing.
Yeah. It was still
Like
based
Schrodinger's
on
cat.
the quantum mechanics thought experiment of Schrodinger's cat. Now the bonus question is, what is the Schrodinger's cat thought experiment about?
Quantum mechanics. About like the dilemma of like two things happening at the same time, basically. It's something like that where it's like, okay, like can two simultaneous, almost opposite things exist at the same time? It's like a simplified version.
So if you don't open the box, do you know is the cat alive or dead? And if you don't open the box, the cat could be alive and dead at that same time.
Physicists would say it would be a superposition of particles, and so therefore they're both happening at the same time. And you don't know until you open the box and you observe it.
My two questions are actually about Takenoko.
There you go.
Because
okay,
I'm like,
okay.
Amanda
Yeah.
Panda invited us on. This is probably the first Panda game you think of, the only one I could think of. But anyways, it's so I have two questions about Takenoko. So first is this game is about there's bamboo growing and there's a gardener trying to grow bamboo, but there's also this panda who's eating that bamboo. But why is the panda here? What's the backstory?
I know.
I know that one.
You know,
right?
okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a gift from China to the Japanese emperor.
Yeah, obviously.
Very good. So I have a quick follow-up question.
Yes.
Okay, so in the sequel or the expansion, there's this female,
Chibis.
the female panda. What is her name?
I don't know.
That I don't know.
I have no idea.
I haven't played the Chibi
Stumped.
expansion.
Yes.
I mean, I know what Takenoko
You
means,
played the
the
Chibi
word.
expansion.
I know, but it was ages ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's her name?
You give up?
Yeah.
It's just Miss Panda. MISS, Miss Panda.
Your questions sound like my questions.
So my question is something that's gonna stump Dan or Shu. I don't know why I keep on calling you Dan. Shu Dan. Name 5 games that have pandas in it.
Oh, I just
I know. As soon as you saw it, you didn't see my face. I was like, oh. He's like, well,
we're
you're
working
working
Oh,
together.
Yes, but you're supposed to be stumped, so you have to go first. And then I can help you.
5 games. Okay, so there's Takenoko.
Yes, that's one.
Does Takenoko Chibis count?
No.
And then the deluxe edition of Takenoko? No. 5 board games.
Yes.
Not that if we change it to video games, that would have helped me. I don't know.
There should be pandas in video games. Isn't that not good?
Darren Park?
Oh yes,
Yes,
that's number
Darren
2.
Park.
Yep.
Darren Park has,
That's good.
right? Panda
Yes, yes.
enclosures.
And
Yes.
you just put that little box
Arc
away.
Nova.
Arc Nova.
Oh,
gotta
it
have a
does.
Panda in
It
it.
does.
Wait, do you not have answers for these? Oh, okay, because you're like, oh yeah. that one,
I've never played Arc Nova,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the
Arc
But there's
Nova.
definitely like
There
a
is,
card
yes,
for pandas.
yes.
For giant
Not
pandas.
the New York Zoo doesn't. I don't think has a panda.
No, that one does not.
I don't know. I kind of give up.
Christina?
I know Zularetto.
Yes,
Has
the
one.
red.
Oh,
pandas.
I've never played that.
Yes,
Beyond that, I feel like I've looked this up before for some reason.
most likely.
Yeah.
Most likely when I was on their podcast, probably.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Looking around at their
Oh,
extensive
nice.
board game collection.
Yeah. I mean, Ecos does not, I know.
Yeah, it does not. I'm always trying to get people to put pandas in their expansions or games.
True. I mean, isn't there like a... there's a panda on one of the special characters in Takedo because Antoine Bauza is one of the characters you can play.
Oh yes. Well,
And he has
Maybe.
like a panda on him, doesn't he? And there's also
I
the
didn't-
panda in Jaipur,
Jaipur.
in that
The
car.
first edition,
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
not in the new edition. That's true, you guys got it. That is a little taste of what you'll get if you watch some of their quiz shows on their YouTube channel. All the links to their podcast and their YouTube channel will be below. Thank you so much for being on. Any last things you want to tell the viewers?
I mean, our podcast is not really trivia themed, so it's just sort of everybody brings a topic and talks about games and their gaming topic. We've had some really fun guests on, and like Dr. Reiner Knizia on. I really like that one. That was fun time.
yeah, we have like it's really cool because every time we're like, man, we've been doing this almost 100 episodes, and
Yeah.
we're like, we're kind of tired of it. Like we want to do something
I
different.
run out of topics all the time.
But then like we have a guest on and they'll like game designers or content creators. You've been on a few times, and then we're like just bring whatever topic you want to bring, and it's so varied. It's like every episode is really interesting and cool. So then it's like every time we talk to our guests, like this is a lot of fun. This is really cool.
You had Kwanchai Moray?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
Kwanchai came and played and recorded with us, and he made us beef jerky. It was like
Oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's
secret
awesome.
talent of Kwanchai Moria, I guess.
So yes, thank you everyone for joining us on this episode of Our Family Plays Games Voices Panda Talks. For more information about them or the extended version, please view my own personal YouTube channel, which will also be linked below. So thank you and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, I'm Aaron from GameEnthus. Let me tell you a really quick story. So I'm walking through Target, as I've been known to do, and I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm feeling pretty good. So I pick up a basket at Target. A basket. I'm in Target to get maybe two things. So 10-15 minutes go by, and the basket has gotten so heavy that I've gotten the cart and put the basket within it and began to fill up the cart around the basket. Did I mention that I was in Target? So now I have a shopping cart. It's getting full of things. I only came in there for two things, but I do take my obligatory stroll through the board game section. I see a game that looks very familiar. It feels like something I've played before, but I've never played it before. And it looks like it should be sitting right next to Uno. And I think I felt that way because it was right next to Uno. And that game is Five Alive from Hasbro Gaming. Let me show you how it plays. This is what a 3-player setup for Five Alive might look like. We have player 1, who is a Hot Wheels version of Homer's The Homer. Player 2 is a Ultra Racer 64, kind of weird alternative racing controller for the N64. I probably used it 3 times, mainly with Mario Kart, maybe Diddy, but that's a whole nother video. And player 3 is a Super Nintendo mouse. Clicky. Old school. Not optical. Everybody would lay out their 5 heart cards. That is your life. Those are your lives, if you will. Everybody would also get 10 cards each. The game does play 2 to 6 players. I just have a 3-player setup here. Point of 5 Alive is to be the last player that has actual hearts that are face up. So a player is going to be putting out 1 card at a time and saying what the sum is. So if it's player 1's turn, they look at their hand, they put out 3. They would say 3. Player 2 would look at their hand and they might put out 6. So now the sum is 9. So players have to make sure they're saying what the sum is after they play the cards. Now the sum is 9. Player 3 knows that. So player 3 is going to play 5. Now the sum is 14. Now it's back over to player 1. So you can continue putting out numbers. Let's say player 1 puts out a 2. So now the sum is 16. Back over to player 2. Now they put out 4 and they say that the sum is now 20. So we're getting close to 21. Player 3 just puts out a 1. So now the sum is 21. Now back over to player 1. Player 1 could also play a 0, which means that the sum would still be 21. It will go over to player 2's turn. Let's say player 1 didn't have anything that could alleviate them from going over 21. Let's say they just had a 4. Let's say they had all numbers, lowest number they had was a 4, hypothetically. So instead of playing that 4, what player 1 would do is their whole turn would just be them flipping over one of their hearts. So now they're a little bit closer to death. They're down by 20%. They're at 80% now. And that's just if the game goes and everybody just puts down just numbers and tries to eliminate people by forcing them to go over 21. But you don't have to just put down numbers. Players are going to have 10 different wild cards that will be mixed into the deck that they can use at any time, regardless of what the sum is, to their advantage. So this first one here is the redeal, meaning all players, the player who plays this card would gather all the cards of everybody's hands, including their own, shuffle them, and redeal them. If you play this card as your last card, it would still end the round, and everybody have to flip over one of their hearts. Whoever plays their last card on their turn would force every other player to flip over one of their heart cards to the skull side, and at that point the round is over and all the cards will be gathered up together. Everybody's hands, what's in the discard, what's in the deck will be shuffled back together, and everybody will be dealt 10 cards once again, and play would resume. Equals 10, equals 21, equals 0 are all exactly what they look like. It means that whatever the sum is at the time, it's now changed whatever that card is. So regardless of what the sum was when your turn started, you've made the sum whatever the cards you put down, 0, 10, or 21. The pass me by card means it's your turn, but it skips you. It passes you by. The bomb means that every player, except for the person who plays the bomb, has to discard a 0 from their hand. This 0, not this 0, the actual 0, from their hand, and put it next to the discard pile. If you cannot discard a 0 from your hand, you flip over one of your hearts to the skull side. +1 means every other player, except you, person who plays it, has to draw 1 card. +2, every other player has to draw 2 cards. And this is the skip, which skips the next player. These cards can be played in lieu of playing one of the regular number cards. And that's how it works. You're trying to avoid going over 21 while forcing your opponents to go over 21. Just in case I have not made it abundantly clear, once all your hearts are gone, you are eliminated from the game.
You lose.
And can resume talking trash on the sidelines, ironically because you're out of the game, but you also have nothing to lose. Maybe I'm projecting. And that's really how Five Alive plays. You're essentially trying to get your opponents to go over 21, so they have to flip over one of their cards, or you're trying to get rid of all your cards as fast as possible, so everybody else has to flip over one of their heart cards. Five Alive. So for me, Five Alive has become my, I don't want to say substitute for Uno, but people say, let's play Uno. I say, no, let's try Five Alive. And it's gone over very well. It's what everybody I played it with. Relatively inexpensive. Hopefully you can find it at your friendly local gaming store, in addition to big box retailers like a Target and things like that. It's a very fun game. I don't know, it works. I dig. Anyway, thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and be blessed.
This is Schooled by Gru, Dr. Tanya Pobuda, talking about violence in board games. This is Schooled by Gru, an exclusive series for Our Family Plays Games Voices, where I do a deep dive into my PhD dissertation research and share with you the findings before the rest of the world sees it, exclusively on Our Family Plays Games. Amongst folks who talk about, think about, and study board games, there's a theory, the genealogy of modern board gaming, and some commentators trace it back to H.G. Wells and his book Little Wars, a game for boys from 12 years of age to 150, and for that more intelligent sort of girl who likes boys' games and books. Yeah, that's the real title. And it was all about staging miniature-based war games. And a lot of individuals who study board games argue that this book was very influential in informing modern board gaming. H.G. Wells had a utopian vision for his book, Little Wars. He was hopeful that miniature-based wargaming would replace the real thing, having seen some of the horrors of large-scale warfare. He wrote, "Here is a homeopathic remedy for the imaginative strategist. Here is the premeditation, the thrill, the strain of accumulating victory or disaster, and no smashed nor sanguinary bodies, no shattered fine buildings, nor devastated countrysides." While there are definitely women who enjoy war games, and I count myself among them, there's some really fascinating research. A study conducted in 2016 showed the conflict simulation and wargaming group, Paxism, had a 99% male membership. And what's also fascinating is when I was searching for graphics under the category men in the tool that I'm using to create these videos, these were the images I got back. I gave a talk in 2019 at the Girls Studies Research Network conference, and I discovered, as I did a research poll of Board Game Geek, that about 58.42% of the themes that I analyzed in the total list of board games skewed toward themes like Mafia, American Civil War, American Revolutionary War, American West, modern warfare, zombies, murder, and fighting. So very violent themes. And when you consider, if we agree, the genealogy of board games stems from that war game simulation, it makes sense. I spend a lot of time in my research thinking about what keeps people from enjoying board games. I personally love board games, but I get a lot of feedback like this comment in my online survey that talks about discomfort with board game themes currently. This reads, "I'm white, so I have enough representation, but it does detract from my experience when other racial identities are not represented or poorly represented. I don't want a game with uncomfortable stereotypes or colonial undertones." So theme and representation plays a role in how people decide to play or purchase games. As I've shared in previous videos, theme and representation play an important role in people making play and purchase decisions. Here's another quote. "The answers I have given here have been very skewed by 4 overbearing and borderline violent cis men I have played games with. I do think they represent a part of the community, but I have faith they aren't the entire community. Board gaming is something I turned to after becoming alienated from the video game community. I lost my taste for video games after seeing the extremely violent rejection of large franchises, including female protagonists. These include Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Star Wars Battlefront 2, and the timid implementation of progressive themes in games." This is Schooled by Gru, and I've been asking the question, why so many violent themes in board games? What do you think? I'd love to hear from you. It's a question I'm really grappling with lately, and I'm contemplating doing another research piece on violent themes in board games and whether or not they predominate based on certain data sets. Thanks for listening. This has been Schooled by Gru for our Family Plays Games Voices. Thanks so much for listening.
What's up, everybody? My name is Reggie, and you can find me at rolling.reggie, mainly on Instagram. I am the lover of all things games, and I am so excited to be a part of the OFPG family today. I'm rocking the drip, and I'm excited to talk about my top 5 favorite card games. So we're gonna get into it, and I gotta start with an honorable mention, and that first one is actually Yu-Gi-Oh! The trading card game. It's a little bit of a cheat here, but seriously, Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been sending fools to the Shadow Realm since I was 12 years old, and I've never looked back. I really think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the first experience that got me into tabletop and welcoming the nerddom that is board games and tabletop gaming and all the text on there and all the different interactions and going and competing with other people and going to the card shop. All were so special to me, and I just can't bring myself to get rid of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, much to my wife's despair. They're in my room, in the closet. I don't think I'll ever sell them because they're so special to me. Once they started adding a bunch of crazy stuff, I think I got out. It's very expensive hobby, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Really is the start of my tabletop love, and I always want to give it a shout out. So my first one that we're really going to talk about here is actually a surprise to some. That is Coloretto by Rio Grande Games, and it's a little tiny box. I actually discovered this game on Board Game Arena, BGA, played online, and it's just so cute and small. And my favorite part about this game really is that you can teach it to your grandmother. I really love accessible games to be able to bring in people who might not play board games or might be daunted by a heavy board or type of game, and Coloretto really does that well. There's actually no hand management like many games, but what I love is it's really a push your luck game and set collection, and you're looking for different color chameleons, but you don't want too many different colors, and that's really all it is. And again, it's so simple but endlessly replayable, and I think especially if you want something to really ease people into the hobby, Coloretto is a great way to go. So that's my number 5. My number 4 is actually Fantasy Realms, which is by WizKids and Bruce Glasgow. He's famous for things like Betrayal at House on the Hill, if you've ever played that. This is just a deck of cards in here. It is great. All it is draw a card and discard, and you're gonna have 7 cards at the beginning of the game and 7 cards at the end, and whoever has the best combo of points is going to win. And they have huge numbers, like 150, 200 point games, and that's exciting. But my favorite piece about Fantasy Realms actually is that even if you lose, you could have a great game because you got that combo to work in your hand. You got the dwarvish infantry plus the cavern plus the dragon, and you get like a bonus 75 points, and that just feels really good. Really quick, especially with people who know how to play at about 15 minutes. Been a real good staple in my collection for me and my buddies between our bigger games as well. So that's Fantasy Realms number 4. At number 3, we're going to one of the best, the bow tie man as they call him in OFPG, Uwe Rosenberg. Now this is Bonanza. This is an old game, okay, by Amigo Games. Love them. 25th anniversary edition I have here. Love it. Nice small box. It fits kind of like a book in my shelf, on my shelfie there. And I love it so much. You're a bean farmer. And the unique thing is that you actually cannot move your hand around. You must play and plant the next bean in your hand. Cute little art. And a lot of bartering and moving your hand around by selling things and trading things. Not selling, by trading specifically. And I just love this game so much. It's a real hit with my friends, and it goes up to 7 players. So it's been a really lovely one for the last few years, actually, in my collection. It's an oldie but a goodie, Bonanza. And at number 2 is the hotness. Mr. Jazz himself talked about this on a previous OFPG episode, and that is Scout by Oink Games. Now, I'm actually not going to spend too much time on this game because it's talked about so much, and I actually left an in-depth review on my Instagram, but it's very popular and for good reason. If you can get your hands on this, it's so lovely to play and so addicting to get a successful moving things around, or not moving things in your hand, but playing something that allows you to get a better run or a set in your hand. Another game that you're not allowed to move your hand around, and that's, I guess, a gimmick that I really love, but that's number 2, Scout. Go check out my review as well. Thank you. And at number 1 is Marvel Champions, the card game. I really was considering putting Wingspan in this list as it is my favorite game, but with the dice and the eggs, I thought it was a little too much of a cheat. This is a living card game from Fantasy Flight Games. They also have a Lord of the Rings version that they just reprinted. If you like Marvel at all, you gotta try this out at least. It's such an appreciative thing for me as a huge MCU Marvel Comics fan. I just love this, and also being a card game fan in the past. It's so great to have that competitive nature, and it's really hard to win sometimes, but it's completely cooperative, and you're playing against, an AI, which is a villain like Rhino or Ultron or the Green Goblin. And I just love it so much. So many different decks, so much variety. I have not even scratched the surface on all the expansions to this game. I have a handful, and there's just more and more coming out. Marvel Champions is so great and so beloved for good reason. That's everything. Thank you so much. I just mentioned I was able to get married last week, and OFPG reached out, and this was such a great gift, so thank you all. I will be playing board games with my permanent player 2 from here on out, and hope to see and chat with some of you in the future. Bye-bye.
What is going on, everyone? This is your boy Jazz over at the Lobby of Hobbies, and it is September, which means it is back to school time. Now, parents, your kids may have already started school. Teachers, you're in the full swing of things. And students, sorry, the fun in the sun is gone. Well, here in New Jersey, this week is the start of school, so I want to wish my students, my teachers, my parents the best of luck for this upcoming school year. Also, big shout out to my boy Grant, who's starting his freshman year of college. I wish you nothing but the best, family. There are great things ahead for you. All right, so let's get into it with this list. Just recently, I was talking with my friend Oscar, and this is not a list of games. This is a list of the idea of board game club. Now, Oscar had posed a question in a group chat to me and 2 of our other friends. Both of them are named Mike, and he asked the question, what we think is the benefit of board game club. He was in the process, Oscar, of writing a new proposal for his school district to keep board game club going for the next, I don't know if it was just for this year or for the next couple of years. And we had bounced some ideas, all of us, back and forth. But I also posed the same question to my buddy Brian, who is also a school teacher who just last year started a board game club in his elementary school. And between talking with a few of these friends, I had put together a list of 5 things that I think are, crucial benefits to running or having a board game club. Now, maybe you are a student or a teacher, you're looking to start a board game club, maybe you've proposed it to your administration, or maybe you haven't yet, maybe it's gotten shot down. but I want to see if maybe these 5 things you've put on this list, because both Oscar and Brian have been successful by utilizing these aspects or these benefits to keep their board game club going and also get it started. If you're ready for it, let's get into it. First one on my list is the idea of building socialization skills. All right, now we have people who are introverts and extroverts, people who may have social anxieties, and working to build upon those skills and get over some of those hurdles is crucial, right? Oscar had shared with me a story about a student who was a loner, didn't have many friends, but he had invited him to board game club, and through that club he was actually able to make some friends, not only just at board game club, but also have these friends outside of the club, during school, and even after school as well. So building upon those socialization skills, getting over some of those hurdles and tackling those through a club is crucial, and it's very beneficial. So I think I've got to say that's going to be the first one on the list, is those socialization skills. So on to my number 2 is going to be team building skills. Now people probably think this is all, of course, going to be playing a cooperative game, but not necessarily. Yes, in a cooperative game, you're working together to, beat the board and, overcome some type of goal. But what about simply the idea of getting a game set up and broken down in time so that you can get on to the next one? You got to work together. You have to, first of all, choose the game that you want to play, set up the game you want to play, hopefully play it within a decent amount of time so you can, break it down and play another one. That requires team building, people working together to overcome or complete a task or a goal, right? So team building is going to be number 2. On to my number 3, which I think many of you are thinking of, it's going to be critical thinking, all right? Utilizing, those thoughts and those problem-solving skills to ultimately achieve the goal that you have at hand, using deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning, all these different things to accomplish a goal. So I think that one speaks for itself. I'm pretty sure you probably would have thought that was going to be the first one on my list, but definitely critical thinking. Number 4 is going to be conflict resolution, all right? Being able to, compromise, being able to negotiate, doing all these things, and not necessarily just playing these area control type games, but working together and, overcoming certain tasks, or maybe sometimes putting a game on the table and resolving conflict, letting the winner of that game be the deciding factor of whatever decision you're trying to make. So conflict resolution is number 4. And on to my number 5, which I think is probably the most important, and probably the reason many people are just getting it shot down, because you think you're just playing games and having fun. But yes, number 5 is having fun. But I'm not just talking about just simply having fun playing games. I'm talking about having fun learning how to succeed and fail. All right, that means winning and losing, how to overcome those challenges, but still have fun doing it, right? Learning from, the failures that you make, making decisions, playing a game. If you know me, I lose games a lot, all right? I don't even want to go through my BG stats. It's just depressing. But yes, I learn skills, I build upon those things, I learn the mistakes that I make, so the next time I play that game, I can take a new route or a new way to hopefully get victory. It doesn't always work, but these are skills that I think are crucial. And when it comes to having a board game club, or necessarily just having board games as a hobby in general. So there you have it. Number 1, socialization skills, team building skills, critical thinking, conflict resolution, and finally, just have fun, no matter what you're doing, winning or losing. Thank you. I will see you guys on the next one.
Another great episode.
Yes, love it all.
Yes, our awesome contributors.
Well, let me tell you something. Now, Aaron needs to stay away from Target. He out there filling up his basket. So I know how that is. Stay away from Target. Stay away. But because, I always go by the game section, and I need to stop that.
Yes, you do.
And I always be going through that, looking. I'm like, ooh, I might want that. Because Target doing a thing with the games now.
Yes, they are.
They doing a thing. So that 5 Alive, I've been seeing that, so I might have to check it out.
See, Aaron.
See what you're doing. See what you're doing. And I love, when Amanda does her thing, the Panda Boogie. Now she had a birthday not too long ago. So we were Panda Boogieing everywhere. We were everywhere.
Yeah.
We were doing our thing. But and I also loved, when the doctor comes in and let us know. She let us know, and we do need more representation in board gaming. Definitely. That's what we're fighting for.
That's right.
That's what we're fighting for. That's what we're showing on this program.
That's right.
That's what we show.
That's right.
So I love hearing from that.
And we also got to say thanks to Reg for coming through with his segment.
Yes.
And Jazz.
Jazz always be doing his thing. Always be doing his thing.
Yes.
But I'm just so glad to see Roland Reggie on. You know, I love seeing him on, and we brought him in so we can get some more voices out there.
That's right.
Yes.
And of course, we have to thank our awesome sponsors.
Yes.
Board and Dice.
Always.
And Renegade Game Studio.
Love them. Now, Starla, now come on. Now, where can we find our merch now? Where can we find the merch at?
Well, if you're looking for some awesome Our Family Plays Games
right
merch,
here.
go to Teespring and just check it out. We've got new stuff. And we've got a new design coming out, so stay tuned.
Yes. Now, Starla, we've already made the 20,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, everybody out there. We love y'all. So now, but we're not stopping. We're still moving. So in order to get more OFPG family, where can they find us, Starla?
Well, if you're looking for Our Family Plays Games, our OFPG Voices, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on YouTube.
Yeah. Now, Starla, we got some upcoming events we want to let everybody know. So what we got?
Well, coming up this month, we will be at NewCon right here in the Omaha area.
Yes.
And that's September 23rd to the 25th.
Yes.
It's going to be at the Mid-America Center in Council Bluffs, Iowa, which is right across the river from downtown Omaha.
Not far at all.
So if you're in the vicinity, come check us out.
And now we're going to have a live show on Saturday, so come on through, because we're going to be doing some things, having fun, just having fun with our family,
and
our
we're
OFPG
also
family.
sponsors, so we will be sponsoring the Hot Games table.
Yes, some game playing will happen for sure. Now, our next episode for OFPG Voices is going to be September 21st, so don't miss that either. Come on, don't do that. So, Starla, that is it.
That's it.
Thank you for coming, family, checking us out, checking out these beautiful voices. And please keep coming back, giving us questions and comments. We love to see them. But there's one thing we want you to know, family. We want you to know is that we love you. Bye now.
Everybody.
Close your eyes so you see my vision. Unite the souls so there's no division. Look into the future, we see all seasons. Aiming for the top, but what's the reason? Hands to the sky and realize we're free. We become the legends we were meant to be. Now open your eyes and you will see. I can lead you home, just follow me.